Hello and welcome to the Amateur Hour, a podcast from Amateur Mastermind Productions. Every other week, four young creatives sit down and talk about whatever it is young creatives talk about. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Messina, and with me is Snap, Darren Tunn.
Hello.
Crackle, Richard Chow.
Hey, what's up?
And finally, the Pop, Jojo Chang.
What's up, guys?
Did you get that was a cereal?
Snap, crackle, pop.
That was good, right?
Crackle pop, yeah.
I like it.
Nice.
I didn't know in
So
other
witty.
countries with Rice Krispies, they have different equivalent sounds. Yeah, so there's like piff, paff, and puff and stuff like that
Interesting.
for different countries,
Interesting.
which is the hard.
So that's the US
from
version.
here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so
I
if
like
you're
that, though.
listening from Canada or Germany or something, then I apologize for our American-centric words.
Oh, if we had
Cereal
viewers from
words.
Germany and across the world, that'd be super cool.
Well, actually, check the Anchor Analytics. Maybe we might have.
They're
We'll do
all
it later,
German.
we'll
we
do it
just
later.
we just offended all of our German base with everyone who listens.
They all just left.
Yes.
Joe,
Alright.
how's your YouTube channel been going?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jojo.
Wait, me, Joe? Oh my God.
I mean, Darren also
It's going
has a
great.
YouTube
No.
channel. Yeah, I just started my YouTube
Yeah.
channel last week. I was supposed to upload really early on Monday, but I ended up uploading at night, which is probably not the best. But again, they'll be out next week, Tuesday. Hoping to do this every single week until I get burnt out because redlining, I have to make sure I'm in the zone and not overworking myself. But my first video, slight plug, is called What Did I Get From Giving? And well, to see what it's about, you gotta go watch it. It has some entertainment value, I've been told. So
Can you tell us what the link is?
Yeah.
the link is youtube.com/ Okay.
We'll link it. We'll link it somewhere. It'll be
Yeah.
there somewhere.
Yeah, all right.
All right. It's going okay. Planning the next video right now. So in the process of filming, but definitely learned a lot. There's a lot of footage I did not use. The video itself is probably nine minutes, but I probably had over my whole SD card was filled up with footage and it's 32 gigs. I don't know how many hours of
That's
that is
crazy, bro.
exactly. Yeah. I learned that a lot of the shit I say, needs to get cut. So
No.
I did
A lot of
that.
Yeah.
A lot of the
Watching yourself on camera is rough, or hearing yourself.
Yeah.
It's
for-
so-
and then
yeah.
playing it back because I have to keep
Have you
editing the
ever seen people watch your videos in front of you, and then you have to be like, "Hey, Jojo," or whatever? No.
No.
video.
Wait. Explain.
It's so nerve-wracking watching yourself on video, but watching someone else watching your video.
Oh,
with
yeah.
you talking on the camera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know
have
it's
not
like the kind of
done that
meta
yet.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary.
And hearing yourself, and you're like, "No, just turn it off. Just turn it off already."
I sound
Watch
cringy.
it. Watch it when I'm not there.
Yeah, literally.
There were a lot of things that I said on camera that I thought was funny at the moment, and then I went back and watched it during post-production, and I was like, cut.
Serial killer. Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Rice Krispies.
I think the
Just like
hardest
Rice
part is
Krispies.
being really honest with yourself and just be like, yo, this is not good. Just cut it. Not saying that video is gold. It's I still put it out because I cannot delay it any longer. I think
Facts.
chasing perfection will prevent me from actually executing. So I think doing is really important, and just forgoing some things, I think is fine. There's some things that I wish I filmed better, but I already took so many 20 shots of it already. The intro part, I originally had maybe 50 other versions of it that was filmed, and they're all cut because I thought the intro was really important, but maybe I'll try something else next time. So
So stay tuned for a new intro.
stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned for a new intro. And
I
outro.
absolutely think it's
And an outro.
important to just do it.
Yeah.
Just get it out.
Totally.
Yeah.
I will say about myself, I'm really not. I don't have a huge perfectionism problem. I don't think, unless I'm completely misreading myself, which is possible too. But I don't know what that says about me either.
If the
but I don't
ability
think
to
it's a huge
edit
problem.
gives you the perfectionism problem.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
Mike's
That's
like, I
true,
don't
that's
edit.
true.
I just
Yeah.
cut scenes.
The moment you go into the
Yeah.
editing program, it's like you could cut it out. It could be so easy. You
Yeah.
can just
Yeah.
do it right now.
Yeah.
I was very
Oh,
proud
no.
one time. I was
Yeah.
on our friend Derek Ting's podcast, the Freestyle
Mhm.
podcast, And right out the gate, I like fall on my face. I was trying to say, how are you doing? But then I also was trying to say, what's up? And I ended up saying, how's up? But then, but I'm proud of myself because I could have said, no, let's restart. But I said, let's just keep going, keep charging through. Put me
and he
on
didn't
record
edit it
saying,
out.
how's up?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he kept it in. So that's going to be my first t-shirt is how's up.
How's up?
How's up?
No, that's
Just
human.
Frankenstein
I think that's
words.
also a lot.
Yeah.
It's also why people like YouTubers sometimes because it's more relatable than just extremely well executed films,
edited,
which I think is also very incredible because it takes a lot to get it really perfect.
Yeah.
But
It's like raw footage, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it's also
For
edited.
sure. I mean, it is definitely edited,
at least
but
the illusion of being a human being, right?
It's so funny because sorry for cutting you off, but it's so funny because I literally just did like one of those like recorded interviews, you know, like what's happening nowadays because you can't do your behavioral interviews in person anymore with companies and stuff. And I'm recording myself and it's so funny because it starts off by saying, it's okay if you make a mistake. We're all human. We understand you're not a robot. But then like as I'm making that mistake, as the interview kind of suite program like plays back what I just said to answer the question, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Wait, it plays it back for you?
It plays, yeah, no. Some of them play it back for you, and this particular one played
In a
it back
robot
for
voice.
me. Yeah, and I was like, oh my goodness, so embarrassing because I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I forgot what I said. I like stumbled on my words, like kind of like Mike, what you did, and I think I was trying to say like a class or something, marketing, and I was just like marketing 342. I felt like I was auctioning something off.
Lagging.
Yeah, literally.
It reminds me of that. There's this video on YouTube, and it's like a scene from this movie. I forget what it was called, but it's like when you get your arm stuck in a device or something. Oh my god,
no.
I forget what it was called. But
is that like Simpsons in the vending
no,
machine?
it was like an old movie where like this machine was like repeating back what this guy was saying. Like exactly, and it tattooed whatever he said like on his body.
On his body. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Chaplin sort of a thing.
I was gonna
don't
say,
know.
Yeah,
it sounds a little
That's
scary.
kinda crazy. You really gotta watch your words for that.
You
case.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you're hooked up to a tattoo machine, you have to watch your words. Yeah.
Yep. It's like, I want to do over.
What show is this? Is it on YouTube, you said?
Yeah, I'll send you the link after. You'll probably link it somewhere.
I'll also put it in the
It's like
link
hilarious.
in the podcast if you want to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as a reference, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, let's talk about movies. Let's talk about what like I guess a good quality movie is.
Yeah.
Yes.
What makes a good movie?
That's so subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, did you just think of that right now, Mike? I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that was. I thought of it, but then Richard said it. That's how on point we are.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. Joe suggested this topic right before we started, and it was really good. So we're doing it now. And definitely subjective. I think as long as it elicits some sort of emotional response from you, that is generally the goal of most art in general. And for me, like sometimes I'll definitely have some writer's existential crisis about like, oh, I don't know exactly how to phrase this. Well, what's the point of this line of dialogue? And then that extrapolates to, well, what's the point of this scene? And then that turns into, what's the point of this whole movie that I'm writing? What's the message from it? And then like, well, what's the purpose of a movie? What is a movie? What is a story? And when that happens, first of all, I need to take a step back. I need to check what I've been drinking. And then I need to, I always come back to subversions for me. So if you could find some way to subvert expectations that does something in a new way, that is always a core concept that I'm trying to go back to.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think emotion, is really important for me because I'm a very reactive person. So I've been told.
Cat-like reflexes.
You're like,
so
think fast.
Yeah. Or I get very jumpy. I get startled very
scares.
easily. Yeah. I love when people react accordingly, when they give big reactions or they like just passionately react because I feel like they're actually into the conversation or into the movie or whatever.
So you don't like people that don't react?
Yeah.
Something's
people
wrong with
are
them.
so...
Yeah.
They're like, okay. I get so freaked out. That's like worse that they... I don't know if that's worse.
I thought that...
Jojo thinks those people who don't react are psychopathic.
I mean, she's probably right, to be honest. I was watching audition footage from Scott Pilgrim for the movie, and the actors are reading the lines, and then I hear the rest of the people in the room laughing. And I'm like, isn't that a little unprofessional?
Mhm.
Like they're gonna lose focus because you hear the people laughing. But
Yeah.
then I'm like, it would be worse if you're saying jokes that were written out for you and everyone's just
Yeah.
dead silent. That would be so
Right.
much
Yeah,
worse.
I was just
So,
imagining
100%
a
right.
comedy movie set, like the set of a comedy movie where nobody laughs. It's like, all right, that was a great take. Let's move on to the next one.
Quiet on
Very
set,
funny,
quiet
very
on set,
funny.
and everyone
Yeah.
just stoic.
Yeah. That's it.
The jokes just don't land. Quiet landings.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that would be the worst. But yes, I think
Quiet
emotion. But then,
landing.
yeah. Or like silent landings. That could be
Silent
interesting.
landing. That's a good name
For something, right?
Mhm.
for a child. my first child, Silent Landing.
Silent landing.
Silent landing. Yeah.
Wait, emotion and what else did you say, Jojo?
Emotion. I definitely agree with Mike. Subverting expectations. Either that's through, I think when I have like moments, like something happens I never expected. That
Like a
really
Korean
gets
drama.
me.
Like,
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, you kind of expect what's happening, right? It's either like three
Yeah.
things. Someone
Yeah.
gets amnesia. He gets the
Someone
girl.
gets amnesia. No.
Time traveling, something like that.
Wait, really?
I thought it was
It's
gonna
only
be
those
the
three.
slow-mo
That's
wrist
it.
There's
grab.
always a car crash. There's always a car crash, and they lose
Yeah.
the memory, or something happens.
It should never go into those cars, man. Korean drama.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
have to,
Korea should just
You
ban.
can't even be walking around. Some people just get
Run over by a bike.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
terrible,
Or something
yeah.
that
I
makes
love how you
really
know
think.
what's gonna
Something that
happen,
makes
but you
really
still watch
think.
it.
It's because you know what's gonna happen, but you don't know how they're gonna make it happen. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like,
follow-
I
But
know.
They
Even
follow
when
the
you know
Korean
how it's
formula.
gonna happen, though. Like even if you know how it's gonna happen, because say you've seen the movie before or whatever,
Yeah.
if it's good, you're still gonna watch it again.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not just finding it out for the first time. There's something satisfying
Yeah.
about a well-crafted.
Just rewatching
Yeah.
it over and over again.
Yeah. Like this is
Yeah.
like I love the show Friends, and there's a scene where Joey, one of the characters, comes in like wearing like 20 layers of clothes, and I don't know why. That's just so funny, and like he just so it's just so memorable. So you just want to watch it again, or like you know what's something
Yeah.
just really well written or like well portrayed. You just want to watch it again. Like even though you know what's gonna happen, you just have to study
Yeah.
the masterpiece one more time. So like I totally understand the craft. I want to replicate this in my own way. So you're like inspired, but you're not like a copy.
Oh, I thought you said suffocate. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Replicate. Okay.
replicate.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
thing. Close enough.
Just like last time when I said divisive instead of decisive.
Yes,
You have a very
yes.
divisive crew.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's interesting because there are definitely formulas out there that people tend to like lean towards or use with like whatever media you consume. I know my brother likes to complain about how in anime they typically always have like some kind of formula, like one way or another. Like there's always like XYZ is always like X plus Y equals like Z is just the formula that they always use.
Yeah.
And I think like the same thing would probably be true for certain movies as well. Like if you want to say like some romantic comedies, but Jojo,
Every
you make a good
Hallmark movie ever.
right, exactly. Like Jojo does make a good point though, like that sometimes you know the formula and you're expecting the formula, but it's how it's executed. I think that really makes that difference. Because you know whether or not we want to admit it, right? We're all affected by emotion one way or another. Whether it be
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, like I don't really like the romantic stuff, but let's say like a horror movie, like those jump scares really get your adrenaline going. I think it's different for everyone. So yeah, I wouldn't call myself like a huge like writer, but I definitely love the ethos, pathos, and logos approach, especially when it comes to like emotion, because I think like the movies that I relate to the most are the movies that I emotionally react to, like just like Jojo said. One I can think of is like the father-son relationship, and in a lot of different movies. But then very much so specifically in what's it called? I Can Only Imagine. It was like a movie that really hit me in a soft spot. My mom was calling me a wuss, like jokingly, but I was like bawling my eyes out, just unashamed. I was like, oh, so sad, and I feel the emotion, I feel it, I kind of feel
Yeah.
all of the rawness of the moment and of the scene and how the characters are acting and just like how everything is going on. It's just like kind of like the buildup of events, right? The climax of the movie that really bring you there.
Yeah.
I definitely think like the climax of the movie is where you can see whether or not a movie's gonna be like what sets a great movie apart from a good movie. I think, right,
That's true.
it's the expectation. It's kind of like, oh, now's the climax in the movie, and it just keeps going and going.
To be honest, I feel like some movies only need like one really, really great moment
Yeah.
to be memorable and like for you to be like, oh, that was such a great movie. But
Yeah.
then if you really look back at it, it's just like that one like
The one
amazing
scene. Yeah.
piece, in that movie that made it incredible. Yeah.
Like whether it be, like a one take fight scene or the realistic nature of like the intro or like the outro, like however it ends or however it begins. I think most people only, even like when you're doing a speech, I think like most people only focus on like three things. Really, it's just the intro, your conclusion, and then sometimes if you can get it really right, it's like that climax moment in your speech or the climax moment in the film or in the book. I think that's the most memorable part. That's the thing that most people take away because all the other details kind of just fade into the background.
Yeah.
It's all like leading up to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, like leading up to it, I'll say Blake Snyder has this whole beat sheet for screenwriting and storytelling and stuff, and he has one part at the end called restatement of the theme, where you're having all the ideas and the like emotional arcs coming together at the end for that sort of climax of your story. And so if you want a movie and a story that really hits home, that one moment is going to be infused with whatever the emotional through line of your entire story has been about.
Yeah.
So it's not just a really cool like fight sequence or a really wow, this person's acting his face off. Like it's gotta really connect
Right.
that emotion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like everything else to add on, everything else before that high point provides context for it. So like everything makes sense because I feel like everything is, relative. Like it only works because it's those characters or it's that scene or it's that past relationship, and I feel like that's why leading up to it, like that epic moment is so epic because it's like, oh, I know why it's so cool because everything before that came before this.
It's like, what are the particular set of circumstances that allowed this to occur in the way that it did?
Yeah, the setups.
Yeah, the setups.
It's interesting because I recently binge watched a show called SWAT from CBS.
Oh my God, Richard loves this.
Oh my gosh,
this TV show, man. Shamir Moore, huge crush. Yeah.
No, stop.
Go on, dude. Yeah.
I think what I've been really enjoying about it, there's a couple of things, right? It's
Wait, what is this about?
It's basically you're following it's like an LA SWAT team. That's like essentially the bare basics is that they're following an LA SWAT team, and the whole thing is just the premise is around this LA SWAT team. But what's very, very interesting is that I could see every single episode targets a different demographic, and the way that the cast is also made up really gives a huge diversity to the different types of characters you're gonna meet. Right? You have an Asian American, you have a Hispanic, Latino like woman, you have a Black African American male who is the lead officer in that team. You have the white American, you have like the hardworking family man, like Catholic father, and then you have like a police officer who is a third generation SWAT officer. So it's like kind of appealing to like seriously, it's like appealing to like those who have been in service, who have like literally like generation by generation by generation, like this is their heritage almost kind of situation. And it's really interesting to me because they combine that like the demographic and the diversity with like an emotional appeal. So like there's one episode, I hope I don't spoil it for people, but this is a couple years ago, like these episodes, like there's this one episode where it appealed to family, and it was very much so kind of like trying to keep the families together, trying to provide for the family. Like what does fatherhood mean? What does it mean? Like, and all these different elements make sense because every single different character in that episode points towards that theme of like fatherhood, or points towards that theme of like family, right? Or points towards that theme of identity. Like they even have those. And then like the third element I love is their cinematography. And I personally don't notice it too much because I'm like, it's seamless enough. But I feel like whoever is camera A, B, and C, like I've tried to like look for them, but they are, I don't know who's directing it. They are just like they're on point.
He does everything.
There's like literally moments where I could see the camera work very, very clearly. It's the camera work where it's like, down the staircase and just shooting straight through down the staircase, and it's a huge rotation, or the typical, and this is a little bit played out, but this was 4 years back actually. that this was that these shows came out, but they have like down the hallway, and then you have the full rotation down the hallway, so it's like that like 360 effect. You know what I'm talking about, Darren?
Twisting shot.
Yeah, the twisting shot, and it's like, or it's pulling back, I think. You know, they have the difference like in action scenes where it's like it's fast and it's quick and it's jerky versus like it's like smooth, so you see every moment of that action that makes it like interesting. And then they even have,
so the action is good in that show.
I personally think the action's good. I like a good action like film sequence. I like the good action film sequence. I like the adrenaline pumping moments, like where like they're going after, I don't know, the bad guys or whatever. And then there's this part like with the cinematography, in my opinion, where I definitely think like their framing is spot on sometimes, and it just works really well. And then like in some of their cuts, like they'll zoom into the face, and then it'll cut to the next scene with that same person's face, and then pull back out into the full scene. So it's like the transition is that person's face. Exactly.
The transitions are there.
The transitions are there. It's just
that's pretty amazing for a TV show to have like
exactly.
amazing transitions. I don't know if you guys seen Sherlock, but
yes,
Sherlock has some of the best transitions, man.
Definitely.
It's crazy. There was one I saw on Instagram behind the scenes where he was
the Robert Downey Jr. one, right?
No,
No, not that one.
The TV show.
BBC.
The BBC one with Benedict
okay,
Cumberbatch.
I know what you're talking about.
Which one? One more time.
The BBC one
The
with
BBC,
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch. No.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen every single episode, but I've seen like 2 or 3 episodes when I first came
I
out.
watched everything. Sherlock is so good. You guys have to watch it.
It's amazing.
He is brilliant, like an actor. He really fits that role perfectly, and I think the whole cast is just really amazing because they really click, him and John.
Oh yeah, I really think that he works well as Sherlock. Like
Benedict Cumberbatch works really well.
He gives off the Sherlock vibes.
Yeah.
Pretentious,
is so charmingly, pretentiously brilliant. He is just, you can see his brilliantness. And I don't know if someone else had that.
It's a really smart show for sure.
Yeah.
Like they put a lot of work into it. And like I was saying with the transitions too, there was one transition where he was like in the field, and then he went to, like he was in his bed in the next scene, and like literally like he was just standing up, and they brought a bed out to the field. And they lifted
I saw
it up.
that too.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I was like,
crazy.
there's definitely some sort of like practical element to those
it's practical
transitions,
effects.
Yeah, because there's no way it could look that good VFX wise. I mean, it could, but man, it would take a lot more time.
Everything
I think, to
is
get
thought
that right.
out for sure.
Yeah.
So definitely think that's much needed.
Yeah.
I'll
Everything
definitely.
was VFX. The bed, the field, the man.
They didn't
Sherlock
it's all green
Cumberbatch
screens.
is YouTube.
Even when they're walking, it's
His
all a green
hair.
screen. It's just the green screen moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to like watch the whole show.
CW. All right.
Yeah.
I need to watch it too because
Oh,
I
no,
also
I
hear it's
definitely
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
It
Jojo
was probably
and
one of my
Valerie.
favorite shows out there. It's really fast to finish too.
If you guys
can-
saw Sherlock, have you seen Doctor
It's-
Who as well? So I know there's a lot of crossover
I have
there.
not seen Doctor Who.
Okay.
I did.
I saw a
watch
good
Doctor
amount.
Who, but
It's an acquired
I see.
taste,
I'll
like
put that
Doctor
in.
Who, Battlestar Galactica kind
I
of
see.
stuff. But I gotta, I keep saying that I'm a nerd, but I haven't seen Battlestar Galactica. I gotta regroup and prove my nerd cred.
Word.
Yeah.
Is Doctor Who the TARDIS thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that, I think. Something having to do with the TARDIS. Yeah.
It's the thing with Darth Vader and hobbits or something like that.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Something about Luke, I'm your father, or something.
Yeah. When you said father-son story, that's what I was thinking about.
I was
Luke,
thinking,
I am your father.
I've been watching Adventure Time. Did anyone watch Adventure Time?
Yes.
I watched parts of it.
Yes.
I didn't watch everything.
Yeah.
It's so good. And one thing as like a writer
like
that's
it.
coming to my mind, it's such a sporadic show. Like one moment they're going through a candy like kingdom on Earth. Next moment they're shooting up to Mars, all within like an 11-minute plot. So it's all over the place. And I'm thinking sometimes you'll watch movies and the writers will sort of just create a solution out of thin air, and it feels really cheap. It's not rewarding. It's not a fulfilling ending or whatever. So those Deus Ex Machinas sort of things, those plot devices that are just dropped in. I've heard it said that those kinds of things, coincidences, can only be made to create problems, but you can't use those as solutions, or it feels cheap.
It's true, yeah.
So seeing how a show that pulls things out, literally, it's a crazy show. It's a kid's cartoon, and it matches the tone really well. But it's interesting to see how they balance that with still feeling fulfilling for those resolutions.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy how like cartoons, man, like the stuff they can do in cartoons versus film. It's like the scenarios that they can do. It's almost like limitless. The stuff they can just put in there. They can just draw it into life, and then it'll be in the cartoon.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, what I found interesting now that I'm rewatching some Disney movies is that there's so many like little innuendos for the parents that watch it with the kids.
Oh yeah. It's like a cartoon.
Shrek.
Tradition.
Yeah. Shrek. Yeah. Shrek. And there's a scene in Planes, Fire, and I forgot what it was called, but Fire and it's fine. It's like the Planes spin-off, like their second movie, like the sequel. Basically, like Disney Studios had this one scene where like one of the old cars in the movie says like, oh yeah, like we got new tires, like white wall tires or something, and they said on the first night we burned through them, and then everyone stopped talking in the scene, and it was so funny because all the characters stopped talking, and then I think the parents would be chuckling on the side, and the kids would be like so confused, like I don't understand the innuendo. And then and they go like, no, we were driving really fast. And they're like, oh, okay. And then everyone started talking again. But I was like, only Disney will put that in there. Disney or Pixar Studios. Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't like the stigma that cartoons are only for kids. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot in there for adults as well. Yeah.
Cartoons can be really, really brilliant.
Yeah.
Even if it is something only for kids, explicitly for kids, like I was just talking about Adventure Time. It can really be well done, or it can be done really cheaply.
Yeah.
Real quick, really just for kids. And you got to respect the kids too. Like, realize that they have some intelligence to
Absolutely.
them.
Yeah.
There's some appreciation for aesthetic and pacing, things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't help but think of Rick and Morty when I think cartoons.
Yeah, dude.
When I think of children's cartoons,
when I think of children's cartoons, I think of Rick and Morty.
I feel like it leans just a little bit away. Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
I wonder if they test the cartoons like on kids first for like an audience.
That's
you're,
true.
Like, writing it, like
that's
you
true.
test it first.
Some of them definitely do focus testing. Yeah.
Because I was thinking, right, like, you know how like as a writer, like even if you write essays, your writing in like middle school can like. Now it's probably so different, and if you look back, you probably cringe at what you wrote back then. I mean, personally, I do.
That's what I write now.
Yeah, but it's probably just so much worse in middle school because you're like,
oh yeah,
poop shit. I don't know what people talk about these days.
That's exactly what I said when I was writing.
Yeah, but like
all I see in post-production is bleep bleep.
For
both of you.
But like you go back, and then you really like, oh my god, it's so bad. But then like,
dude,
you're like in middle school, your teachers have to grade you based on like that level. They're not going to be like putting you to like high school or like college level. So then they have to like readjust their whole like mindset and like, oh, this is really good for like a middle schooler. But how do you gauge? How would you fully grasp?
My mom actually, she teaches preschoolers and pre-K, and she has to like grade them on like their writing and stuff like that. So it's really interesting because I get to see like a lot of like their assignments, and they're actually pretty good. I don't know. They know quite a bit, I think. I don't know, but yeah.
What's your definition of good for preschoolers? Like, what is something is it?
They know. I don't know. They're talking about like electric cars and stuff like that. I was pretty impressed. I was like, damn.
Oh, I was like, they know about Tesla.
And like the Tesla and like the
Titan.
like I don't know, like types of clouds and stuff.
Oh.
Preschool students?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Preschool students, yeah.
Man, maybe we're just dumb.
Richard's like, what the fuck? Yeah, I know. I was like, maybe I'm just dumb, right?
That's the thing. Like, what do you
brain
kind of good? I think everything is subjective, and everything is like if you can surpass expectations, all about expectations, right? Like even in economics, inflation versus expected inflation. If inflation is like lower than expected inflation, then it's better. Well, it depends on like what you're trying to achieve economically. Wait, let me just check my camera.
Trying to ruin your own country.
Sounds good.
You want inflation to be off the charts even more than yours.
Yeah. Exactly.
I want to be super
But
inflated.
I think it's so cool. It's all about like people's expectations, and if you can surpass them, then it's really good. And then if you're below it, then it's like and then if you just meet it, then you're like okay.
Like we said before, subverting expectations, even doing something differently than what they expect.
Yeah.
In the stories.
I remember you guys said before that moments are really important for you guys. I think Darren said it. Like the specific moment, if they really make it really
said
well.
it. No.
He coined the term.
What happens? Yeah. What happens though if it's like the beginning can't draw you in? If the beginning can't draw you in, right?
Then you don't deserve the moment some movies, in the middle.
They have...
Dang.
Okay.
Darren's like, then you're a hater.
The beginning of a movie or the beginning of a moment or a scene?
Beginning of a movie, because people won't even find that moment if they never get up to it. If they lose interest.
That's why they call it hidden gems, man.
Uncut gems, man. It really depends. Funniest Adam Sandler movie, like we said before.
Uncut Gems is the funniest one, man.
I mean,
I haven't watched it, so I know you guys recommended it. It's on my to watch list.
Yeah, Joe, you're gonna laugh so loud. It's hilarious. Yeah.
Feel good rom-com,
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, especially nowadays, for better or for worse, everything's a la carte or on demand. So you could, if something doesn't grab you in the first 5 minutes, you can just skip over to another movie, which again, is great because there's some meritocracy there, but it's also bad because it's all this pressure to do a very certain specific kind of art where it is louder in your face or super engaging dopamine hit right away. So it depends on the kind of genre. Like that's the real answer as to what makes a movie good. It depends on what genre or what you're trying to accomplish. And so if you're watching a French New Wave, or if you're watching a slice of life sort of a movie, you're never going to get those big special emotionally impactful moments. A lot of the times, we were talking about My Dinner with Andre.
Yeah.
There's really no moment in there we're like, whoa, mind blown. The whole thing is just one sustained, pseudo intellectual conversation. And if the emotional impact comes at any point, it's going to be after the fact, after you've mulled over that 2-hour, somewhat mundane experience. So it really depends.
Yeah. I actually think it's I would definitely say nowadays it's a little bit, I don't think the word is sad. I think it's a little bit disheartening, I think, to see that that our attention spans are getting shorter, right? Because most people,
we were talking about this before.
Yeah, because people just want the first 30 seconds, like your TikToks or your Reels are just that short. So you're right. Like pulls you in, and I definitely think that's the reason why a lot of movies play up trailers so much. Have you ever thought about why trailers are called trailers yet they show so much of the movie? Aren't trailers supposed to trail after the movie?
And it's crazy because now even trailers, people are getting bored because it's they have, how you watch trailers on YouTube and you see that short little clip of what the trailer is about before the trailer.
The trailer is
for people who have low attention spans.
Yes, it's a preview of the trailer. The first 30 seconds are out. Yeah.
I think the problem is we got rid of epic movie trailer voice guy. That's really
in a world.
Oh my god! Wow.
In a world.
Yeah.
Like a throwback.
Yeah, I like that guy. Now it's just kind of like a meme, but
yeah, we need to bring him back in a big way.
Yeah,
and then you get Martin Scorsese coming up and saying, "Oh, these aren't real movies. These are roller coaster rides or whatever." And I see what he's saying, and of course, Martin Scorsese probably knows a thing or two about making movies, but also. I kind of Martin, shut up, chill out. If people are enjoying this, so who are you to really dictate? Because we were saying before, Joe was saying, it is so subjective. So who are you to dictate whether something is good or not?
Yeah.
I remember I had this big argument in high school. Not a big argument. My high school teacher's video games just. Oh yeah, we were throwing hands and everything. I won, of course.
Yes.
But she's all video games inherently are not art or cannot be art. What are you talking about? She had this infamous Roger Ebert opinion of, video games have choice from the player. So therefore it's not telling a concrete story. Therefore it cannot be, art in that intentional way. I'm what are you talking about?
What?
And, and she also, she had it in her head that in order for something to be art, it has to be achieving some sort of thematic or some sort of artistic thing. So she's like, Harry Potter is art because it's commentary and it's an allegory for World War II. Twilight, though, is not art because that's just like teeny bop whatever drama without any higher aspiration. I'm like, yeah, but who are you to dictate that? What if it's doing something that you don't see, and why is it that it has to be some like hoity-toity allegory or whatever for it to be considered X, Y, or Z?
That's like aloof
as art.
Yeah.
It's like a very kind of like chin facing upward, kind of like how could you not know? Yeah, it's so like it's so aloof. It's so aloof, and it kind of gives me like the feeling where certain art pieces, and this is more going towards like fine arts, but like fine art pieces like are like their pieces are so the prices are so gassed up, the prices are so just kind of inflated. And then the question then becomes like, why is it so inflated? Like, who dictated that this price is set at this price point? Why is it not more accessible? Because I think my 6-year-old like godbrother could paint the same kind of painting. Like, it's lines on a page, and why is it $2.6 million? Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, art comes in different forms, and art comes in many forms. And right, like you said, what if Twilight doesn't fill that quote unquote allegorical, like artistic, like background thing? But what if Twilight fulfills more of like an emotional like connection for some people, where they really feel connected to the characters, or
the
maybe
vampires
it's right, or it's like a different way of shooting it, or it's a different like it's a new age, picture method, right? Pixar before Disney acquired Pixar. In 2006, Pixar was the first studio doing its own like CGI, like full CGI, full kind of like computer generated cartoon graphics. Versus Disney was all hand drawn, up until very recently. So it's like it depends, right? It depends on what your definition of quote unquote art is, and who's to dictate what is good art.
I like to say that I'm pretentiously unpretentious.
Yeah.
So I'm always shouting.
How could you say that?
In like
no.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of sounds hoity-toity by the end, but really, who are any of us to dictate what? Is what we keep getting to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has amateur hour reached the full hour?
I'm not sure.
The full potential. We're approaching 40 minutes here.
Yeah, approaching.
Okay, all right.
Darren, did you ever like explicitly say what you think is good?
I think you guys kind of said my answers that I rehearsed before. Not. I was just about to say like it's and definitely that emotional connection that you have to it, and like Mike was saying before, whatever that piece sets out to do, like if it sets out to just be like a good Saturday night, like having fun with the family type fun watch, then if it succeeds in that, then it's a good movie. I guess. But what were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, like, because you said if it succeeds in that specific question would be, do you think people make films for a specific audience? Like when you create something,
do you people
like these are people I want to like, this is made for, this is my target audience, because like every single business they always have
interesting that you asked that question
demographic.
As a marketing major.
Interesting.
Or like even for us,
we know what answer
motto we made. I mean, sometimes it could be for a lot of people, right? You don't have like, you're just like, I just want to make this to send a message. I feel like that's what we're trying to do with Motto. So plug, this is our social horror short film. It's in post-production now, but more to that later if you're editing this, Richard.
Sounds good.
Rich? Oh, you were looking at your camera.
Yeah. I was like, where's she looking?
Yeah.
Talk directly to the at the even.
Wow. Did you hear how she said that? These people
are listeners.
Yeah, all 5.
Do people. Anyways.
Us 4. But yeah. What do you guys think? Do you guys think there's a specific target audience, or it's more so we think this is like a really sick film?
I definitely think certain films set out to kind of be a good all-rounder. You can never go wrong with Harry Potter, but yet there are people who are just kind of like, it's just not my thing. It's not my cup of tea, right? And that's okay. I judge them. Yeah, I don't trust that person. I judge them, but also I don't judge them. Anyways,
my mom actually fell asleep during Harry
oh
Potter.
my goodness, it's okay. It's okay. I heard a lot of people fell asleep. I heard a lot of
She
people
was like, the fire is talking and it's boring me. Yeah.
I heard a lot of people fell asleep during Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's such like kind of like one of those OG films or film series that everyone just like always goes back to. I mean, it's really
Jojo,
long.
You were falling
really
asleep.
long.
I was also.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And when
it
dark,
was a long movie. I do have to say, it was a long movie.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going on an adventure, and it was like 3-4 hours, man. Like, damn.
I definitely think
adventure.
Yeah.
I think going back to your original question, I think it's less about who our target demographics are, more so target audience, and the creators of the movies aren't necessarily always going to know that, right? So whoever likes fantasy, like, you're never going to be able to be like, yeah, like, people in this age range specifically will be watching my movie. Like, yeah, maybe like you can say a percentage of these people in this age range will, but I think it's more so like whoever is into this genre, fantasy, whoever's into this genre, horror, which will never be the genre I'm a part of, but you know, whoever's into action,
join the club.
Yeah, no, literally, and or whoever's into slice of life, right? And that's another question too.
No, because I feel
because some people are just bored.
Yeah.
I feel like movie studios now are able to target much better.
Definitely.
Because I'm getting those Facebook ads and I'm like, man, like, they targeted that.
You can turn
Really
that off. We'll talk about that later. You can turn that off. It's called targeted ads. It's off Facebook. They actually have a button on Facebook, on the Facebook app. It's called off Facebook tracking or like usage. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know about that. It's in settings. You can turn that off. They'll track all your app usage on the rest of your phone.
You see those old people like talking to Mark Zuckerberg or whoever it was about, is Facebook listening to our conversation right now? Like, what are you talking about?
Let me tell you, I this one I always play back, and this is not a movie, it's not a film, but I can't help but play it back because it's so funny to me. You have this guy on the Congress like seating committee or something, right? Steering committee, I don't know.
Yeah,
and he goes, he goes like this, goes to the Google CEO, and I know they're tracking our information, but I'm giving consent to, but he goes like this. So, if I hold up my phone, and I'm standing here with my phone, right? And he's like asking this guy as if like he's a 2-year-old. Yeah, like my phone's here. So let's say I bring it over there. Will it know that I went from point A to point B? And the Google CEO's like, do you have your permissions on? Like, are you allowing the location services? And then he's trying to say this, and then the senator's like, no. I just want a yes or no answer. And I'm like, well, it's a kind of, like, here I am sitting as the audience, like, it's a kind of answer. Do you allow the location tracking? If you turn on location services, yes. The answer is yes.
Yes or no is up to you.
Yeah. If you turn it off, then it's a no. Like, I don't understand like what's so hard about this question. And this guy is just trying to draw this answer out.
Get these old people out of here.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to draw this answer out because they're tracking our information. I'm like, well, you can turn all that off. Like, if you turn off syncing, if you turn off location, you turn off all these things, guess what? Voila. They're not tracking anything.
And they're valid concerns. It's just those are so obviously not the people to be leading us.
Exactly.
Exactly. You're so out of your element.
No, literally.
But what were we talking about?
I forgot. It's about whether or not
Facebook
they can target.
Ads. I think.
Yeah.
And I do think movie studios though nowadays
it's definitely better targeted.
What came to mind for me when we brought this up was the rapper No Names, who's a great rapper. She's so good. And there was this whole pseudo controversy coming up, I think last year, because she said, I make my music for the Black narrative to encourage Black Americans going through the Black American experience. Then I go out to concerts and it's all white people listening to my music. And that upset her because she thought she was hitting her people and she was not. So she said, okay, I'm just done. I'm not doing tours anymore. And of course, like legally, that's her prerogative. But just as an artist, there's definitely something there in terms of who am I talking to? Who am I trying to talk to? What do I want my message to be? And in order for your message to be something, part of that is who is on the receiving end of that. And Tyler, the Creator, another rapper / musician, a Black American, had a very similar thing where he had a song come out, See You Again from Flower Boy, fantastic song. And he's like, I was at, hanging out with other Black crowds and I heard my song for the first time in the context of a Black group of people. And that was so powerful to him. So there's definitely something, especially in the minority or racial or marginalized group arena. There's something to that, to who is listening to your message and who isn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy though. That I didn't
It
know
is,
that.
Yeah.
That she just
Wait, and
dropped it,
who was this
'cause-
again?
This was No Names.
No Names.
No Names.
Yes, and she's big into activism and stuff as well. And you could also argue the other way, like you having that pro-black message and trying to push for a certain group of people, that is a message that is also valuable, perhaps even more valuable to send to other groups, not just the group that you're a part of. So there's definitely layers to this conversation, and I could see someone arguing very ardently in either direction.
Yeah.
But it is important. But it's also like that's just a concert space. Also, her music and of course the things that we are creating, and really everyone's creating, a Spike Lee film or whatever it may be, is available to everyone.
Yeah.
So even if you're trying to point it in a certain direction, it is ultimately going to have the
some other
potential
people
to
are
go
going to see
everywhere.
it. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
I feel like you don't truly know your demographic then. I you don't truly know it. Yeah.
I think you know a percentage of it, like the majority.
Yeah.
Like you can break demographics down by age, by gender, by
you will know the majority.
Yeah, you'll know the majority percentage, but you'll never know what the fringe percentages are, because like in any given moment, it's not kind of like, oh, all my listening audiences are from the United States. Like I think in the beginning it's like that for us. But for example, like there are posts that I see that I put up on other Instagram accounts I have to run for school orgs, where it's like United States and then Canada. And then there's this less than 1% from like Estonia, and I'm just kind of like, all right, there's something going on over here. Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
There's a spy.
Yeah, no. Yeah, why would they spy on a school organization? I don't know.
They're stealing our election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Would not
My
be
gosh.
surprised.
Yeah. I think we're getting to about that time.
That hour, man.
Absolutely.
About that time.
Just about
yeah.
that time.
Do we remember how we closed off last time, where we each said one word?
Yeah, we
wanna
did
try
the
that
one word
again?
thing.
We could try that again.
Okay,
I'm
so
down.
we'll go order. It'll go me, Darren, Joe, Richard.
Sounds good.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm for that.
We
They
R.
Amateur.
sort of
Kinda.
not really.
Masterminds.
of
Shitting.
And
Pooping.
period.
I like
Yeah.
it.
That's
Yes.
it.
I like
That's
it.
it.
hey, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Amateur Hour, where we talk about whatever we talk about. If you liked what you saw, please drop a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. That way you get notified every single time we upload a new video, which is every other Tuesday. Also, comment your thoughts on what we talked about this episode and any topics you want to hear about in the future. Additionally, please follow our social medias. So our Instagram is amateur_mastermind. That is our most active platform, and we post every single thing we do and behind the scenes stuff. So if you want to stay up to date on our current projects, please go there. We will also link it here and in the description. Yeah, that's all for now. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in 2 weeks.